Good morning, everyone. Myself, Himanshu Jain, AIR 44 this time. So, a basic introduction about me. I have done my graduation from IIIT Hyderabad, and I am also a postgraduate from the same institute. I finished my graduation and post graduation in 2014, and I came back to Delhi for preparation. This was my third attempt, and I got 44. And also, this was my first interview. I could not qualify mains last two times. So, let's begin with my journey, the strategy of how I cracked this exam and got 44th rank. So, I'll be starting with prelims part, how to prepare, because as you all know, there are three stages of this examination. First stage is prelim, second is mains, and third one is interview. So, for the prelims, there is a complete different strategy for all the three parts. So you have to be prepared for all the three stages very differently. So let's begin with prelims, how you should prepare for prelims. Prelims as such has become very much competitive because there are around 10 to 12 lakh people appearing for prelims every year, and the number is keep on increasing. So the competition at prelims level, I think, is very, very tough. And those people who are preparing for Indian Forest Services, they need to work more hard because the cutoff is like 15 marks more for the Indian Forest Services. I hope everyone is familiar with the civil services pattern. So is there anyone who is not familiar with the pattern? Okay, so I'm assuming everyone is familiar. Okay, so now there are several subjects in prelims that you have to study. There is a myth that UPSC cover everything under the sun. I think this is a complete myth. UPSC does not cover everything under the sun. We have to be very focused and we have to be very specific what we can study because there is a limit to everyone. So I'll be talking about like different subjects that we have to cover as part of our prelims. So as you know, there are different subjects like polity, economy. Please note down polity, economy. Then there is geography. Then there is history. In the history, you can write modern history, medieval history, ancient history, art and culture. Then there is geography I have covered, economics, polity, history. Then there is science and tech. Then there is environment. What else? The government schemes or current affairs. Then any area left? So I think everything is covered. So now write for each of the subject what books you have to study. For polity, I think Lakshmikant everyone knows, that is the basic book, and that is the you can say the whole compilation of polity is there in the Lakshmikant. So read only Lakshmikant and read newspapers. Polity will be covered. Now coming to the geography, you should read 11th, 12th geography of NCERT of geography along with GC Leong, along with some mapping practice from Atlas. You can also refer to the Mrinal videos of geography, that they are very good and I have seen them. Or you can, for straight topics, you can refer to Savinder Singh or all. So geography will be finished. Apart from this, now coming to history, in modern history you can refer to Spectrum. Spectrum is a very good book. Those who don't want to read Spectrum, they can refer to Bipin Chandra. Bipin Chandra is also a very good book. Now, in modern history, you should cover between 1757 to 1947. Only this period questions will be asked. Now coming to the ancient history, you should read R.S. Sharma. It is a very good book, R.S. Sharma. For medieval history, you can refer to Satish Chandra. I have not read Satish Chandra in my whole 3-year period. I only refer to some notes from coaching institute. So you can also refer to some compilation from a coaching institute, or you can refer to the Lucent guide that comes, which help you in covering medieval history. Now, coming to the next, art and culture. Art and culture, you can refer to Nitin Singhania book. It's a very good book, and the compilation is very good. So, history is covered, geography is covered, polity is covered. Now, coming to the economy section. In the economy section, they will ask some basic questions. Mostly the questions will be asked from the current affairs. Here, the Hindu newspaper will help you. So, try to cover current affairs from the Hindu newspaper or any newspaper which you like. Along with this, you should also refer to some basic book of economy like Ramesh Singh or any basic book. Apart from this, try to refer a site called Manal. It's a very good site for economy, and I referred it and I found it very useful. So this is economy section. Now, for environment, you can refer to the other notes that are available in the market, Shankar IS or any compilation that is there. So these are the whole for prelims. And for current affairs, you should read Vision, which is a very good book, which is a very good compilation of current affairs, and also newspaper. So these two things will help you a lot, and you will not miss anything in the current affairs section. Also, for government documents, you should read budget, you should read government surveys, government economic survey, and any other report which has come, like forest report or any other report. So I think this will cover your prelim part, but this is only the reading part. Now you should focus on the practice part. Practice part is more important. Try to get question papers of test series and try as many questions as possible. So what I used to do is I used to practice 2 papers daily and in alternate days. So that helped me a lot. I practiced around 40 papers. So just go with that, and you will be able to crack prelims with 140 or plus marks. What you should do is never spend more than 2 months solely for prelims, because I have read it. I have also followed this strategy and it worked. So because there is a mains that you have to give, and you should also focus upon the mains part. You should also give a regular test for the mains. So what you should do is, for prelims, pick a subject, for example, polity. Read from Lakshmikant. It will take you 2 to 3 days. Also read your current affair notes. And then try to solve 3-4 papers of polity on the next day. So this will cover whole polity part, and you will feel very relaxed that you have covered whole polity. Similarly goes for environment, similarly for modern history. Do this, and in span of like 1.5 months, you will be able to cover whole of prelims part. And I can assure you that you will get a very good marks in prelims. So this was my whole strategy for prelims, and luckily I never failed in prelim, so I can share this strategy with you. Now the prelim part is over. Coming to the mains part. Mains part is very important because here you have to write answers, and it is very different, you can say, arena from the prelims, because here you have to write subjective answers which require immense practice and which require immense representation skills. Now those skills can be developed over a period of time. It is not that you are born with the representative skills. You can develop your skills with time, because I failed in mains twice, so I can share this strategy with you that with the time you can improve your skills of your representative skills. Now how you should improve your representative skills? That is the question. Solve as many as paper as possible. Give as many mains paper as possible. For example, read, for example, if you have read GS1, try to give 2-3 papers of GS1, then again go with GS1, read it once, and then give paper of GS1. First of all, give partial papers, for example, society, geography, history, then give full papers. So this will help you make your temperament that you are able to solve 3-hour paper completely in time. And also, after writing your answer, you should analyze that whether your answers are written very good or not. And then now how to analyze whether you have written a good answer or not. For analyzing whether you have written a good answer, first you should read yourself, and then you should also refer your answer to your friend. Your friend will give you very good suggestions that your answer is good, bad, or decent. You should also make diagrams in your answer. You should also make flowcharts in your answer as applicable in the question. Don't try to force it. As applicable, you should try to incorporate it because it will make your answer non-monotonous than others' answer. So, for answer writing, the main key point is practice. Practice, practice, practice. Just write answers more and more and more. And I think you should solve 10 papers or 10 or some or less, 5 to 10 papers of each paper. Like there are 7 papers that we have in mains. You should solve each of the 7 papers 7 times. Give 7 mock tests of each paper. That will help you a lot in the mains examination. What I used to do is I used to treat every alternate week as a mains week, and I used to give treat it as a mains examination. So I used to give 7 exams in the alternate week. So that you can follow. That helped me a lot. Okay. So now before so this was all about answer writing. Now let me come to how you should be able to grasp the content. For writing an answer, you should have content. Initially, I used to make offline notes, but in the first 2 attempts, but I could not compile them properly. So at the end, what happened was everything get very cluttered and everything got very clumsy. So in the 3rd attempt, I thrown away everything and I made online notes in the WordPad, and that helped me a lot because I was able to compile GST at a very specific position, and I can read it very, very large number of times. So that will help you in compiling your notes. So try to make your notes online or offline as comfortable to you. But for me, I think online notes worked because I was able to revise the notes many, many times, and that helped me in grasping the content. Next thing, I think what you should do is read the question very carefully. If you are not reading the question very carefully, then I think you won't be able to answer the question very specifically. In the UPSC mains examination, you won't get much time, but I think you should spend at least 30 seconds in reading the question, understanding the question, understand each and every part of the question. If possible, try to highlight the main keyword of the question, because that will help you in answering the question very carefully and each of the part very carefully. You won't skip any of the part of the question. So do this and read first question very carefully. Now answer each part of the question. Don't skip any part of the question. Try to incorporate as many points as possible in your answer, because examiner, it's a psychology of examiner that he will see how many points you have written. If the question is of say 12.5 marks and the distribution is 4 and 8.5, you should write at least 15 to 20 points. If you can divide your 15 to 20 points in multiple dimensions, for example, what are the positives, what are the negatives, what are the government initiatives, and what can be done. So what I used to do is, for example, if there is a question on Jan Dhan Yojana, Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana has been it's not been very successful and all. So first you should give a very brief introduction of what is Jan Dhan Yojana or a fact about financial inclusion. You can start with this introduction, and then in the next part, direct jump to the question and answer the question. So in the next part, just write the specific feature of the Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana, then criticize what are the negatives of Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana, and then in the next part, what I used to do is I used to make a diagram and then say what the government is doing for financial inclusion, the other parameters of the government. Some people will say that this will not help because you are diverting from the question, but I think for me it worked, because the examiner will get a different perspective that government is doing different things for the financial inclusion. And in the conclusion, I will conclude what government else can do for the financial inclusion. I will just write a suggestion that government can do this for financial inclusion. So this was my whole strategy of answer writing. You can divide this into weekly. For example, after your prelims, you will have more like 3 months for mains, and for 3 months will be like around 12 to 15 weeks. So you can divide this into weeklies, how in the first week, what subject you will read and how many papers you will practice. I used to practice 4 papers a week. So whatever suits you, do practice as many papers as possible. That will only sail you through the mains examination. Otherwise, you won't be able to sail through mains examination if you are not practicing enough. And make diagrams. And also, what I want to share one more thing. Don't solve 5 questions, 2 questions, or 3 questions, and extrapolate that with 3 hours. For example, many people solve 6 question in an hour, and they will say, okay, I can solve 18 question in 3 hours. That won't happen. Solve 3 hours paper. So in the first 2 attempts, I used to solve 7 questions per day, and that will not help because you cannot, because in per hour your frequency fluctuates, your efficiency fluctuates. So you should solve a complete 3-hour paper. Don't solve 7 questions or so. Other thing, what you should do is you should understand the question in the terminology of the question. For example, if there is a discuss or critically analyze or analyze, elaborate, so you should be able to understand this. And there is a very good write-up about this in the Vision IS. So you should read that and focus upon these keywords. Now coming to the division of the answers. So there is introduction, then there are multiple sections like positive, negatives, and the suggestions, and then there is a conclusion. So you should write all these things and try to incorporate it. If you are short of time, make diagram and write the points around it. That will also help you. So that will, like what I used to do is I used to write as many points as possible if I feel it is relevant to this question, because that will give a perception to the examiner that this person knows this much. And I try to incorporate another dimension to the question so that examiner will get another perception or another dimension of the question, that yes, the person is aware of other part of the question. And also it will give you an edge over the other answers because you have added another dimension of the question. For example, what government is doing, or what else we can do, what the international organizations are doing. So try to incorporate it. Also, so after you write your test, also what I used to do was I used to read the topper's copy at the Vision IS platform. So read topper's copy of every test. That will, what students never read topper's copy because they think it's a waste of time. But I can promise you this is not a waste of time. You will get a very good feeling that okay, this answer can be written in this manner. So you can learn representation skill from the topper's copy. There is a section on the Vision IS platform from where you can get the topper's copy. Do read those copies. Do read those essays and all. That will help you a lot. And write every day. Don't skip any day, or if you want, you can write alternate day, but write for 3 hours, continuous. Don't write for 1 hour and extrapolate it for 3 hours. Now, if you are analyzing your answer by yourself, you should be very brutal. Be brutal in analyzing your answer, and you should say like, oh, I could have write this answer rather than this answer. So be very strict while you are checking your answer. It applies to every paper, essay or ethics or any paper. And apart from this, I would say I always have 3 quotes written in my room, which helped me in gaining motivation, because I also suggested this strategy to my friends, but they were saying that this is very harsh strategy, we are not able to follow it. So I used to have 3 quotes in my room which I want to share with you. I think they might help you. So one was, the pain of discipline is far less than the pain of failure. So if you are very disciplined, that will give you a less pain, then you are a failure. At the time of mains result, if your roll number is not in the PDF, the pain of that is very large. Then the pain you will get while you are following your daily schedule. So don't be laggard and don't procrastinate your things. Do them as scheduled. That will be less painful, and also your family members will suffer less pain when you will follow the discipline. So do this. The next thing is the Confucius said once, he who thinks he can and he who thinks he can't are both usually right. So so you should have this belief that I can do this. I can become an IAS officer. If you're not believing you, then it's not very a good sign, and you may not become an IAS officer. So have this faith that yes, I can become an IAS officer, and you will become someday. I still remember after my second attempt, when I got failed in mains, I used to get this thought that IAS is not for me, my cup of tea, and I will not be able to crack this exam. There are people who are very different who crack this such exam. So I should now skip and divert to some other areas. But then there is a thought comes to my mind that he who thinks who can and he who thinks who can't are both usually right. So have faith and have belief that you can do this and you will do this. Just work hard. And third thing, I think this will help. If you plan to follow your failure, if you fail to follow your plan, then you plan to follow failure. So I think this was the third quotation which I wrote. If you fail to follow plan, then you plan to follow failure. So make your plans and follow them very strictly, so you will succeed. This was all about my strategy. I hope it's clear to you. Thank you. Any questions? Sorry? Interview. Okay, for interview, I think one thing worked for me, that was the mirror practice. Do mirror practice every day, and that will help you a lot. That will remove your all hesitations and everything, and question yourself. And what I used to do is I used to ask very uneasy questions to myself. Uneasy in the sense that, for example, why I came to civil services. If I have done this, why I am still coming to civil services. I will do corruption if I come to civil services. So these kind of uneasy questions, if you ask yourself, your truly personality will come out, and that will help you a lot. Remove your hesitations and everything, and discuss with your friends, discuss current affairs, everything. So that will help you in the interview. And don't be very nervous. So interview is very relaxed, calm environment. They will just ask very good questions, and the board is very cordial. My optional was anthropology.
So being from a engineering background and coming from IIT Hyderabad, didn't you think about taking a science option like physics, math?
Yeah, I thought about taking a science optional like maths, but I was doing my post-graduation when I started this journey of UPSC. So I didn't have much time, so I took anthropology because it was short, and I think I could cover it within span of 3 months. So I took anthropology.
Well, in your previous mains as well?
Yes, in anthropology I scored like all through very decent marks, 250 plus. For? I'll discuss with you because I think there are people who, it's okay.